Hey people, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining us, liking and subscribing and sharing. Okay, well, we've been talking about this for years now. Years on deaf ears. I get made fun of, I get ridiculed, I get spit on, I get destroyed. Why? Because we're trying to uncover what is happening with housing affordability and the disappearing middle class in English-speaking countries. Um, we've been talking about this since basically 2010, till our first channel got taken down, and reassessed the channel in 2012, which we have this one right now that's still going. That's already been struck down 13 times already. So middle class disappearing is very important. Mass exodus of people leaving major cities is important. Then we tied that into food shortages. Then we tied that in years ago, not last week because Joe Rogan said so. Years ago, rolling blackouts, all this stuff is all being tied together through government control. And basically, they want to federalize everything. They want to federalize our logistics and transport. Years ago, we said that. They wanted federalize our food production and food sales. They want to digitize our currency. They want to but this is years ago. We're not talking about, because Joe Rogan 2 weeks ago said something. We're talking about on the channel, if you go through the channel time machine. But they want to federalize our housing. And I've been saying they've been wanting to federalize our housing for years. Now, America's experiencing a Marifornia right now, so look up across the channel what a Marifornia is and how it's affecting Americans. But today we're going to look at which Canadian real estate markets can you afford? Not many if you're middle class. So Canadians born, raised, educated in their own country, same thing with Australia, New Zealand, UK, and the blue states of America are in the same predicament, right? So this article today comes to us from Better Dwelling, our friends over at Better Dwelling. So there it is right there. That's the Lionsgate Bridge. I used to live in that area. You did it! Your household earns the median income for Canada, and you convinced your boss to work from home. Now you just need to find a home you could afford in the second largest country in the world. So you would think land would be dirt cheap like it would be in the States, where you could buy 17 acres of land for $6,000. Don't make me look it up because I could show you many places for that much. Yeah, easier said than done. Don't worry, we got you. We hope you like small and remote cities on rural towns because that's all you can afford. Sorry, Better Dwelling, I'm going to have to disagree. I live in a rural town with population less than 7,000. Our property taxes are going up, and our only hospital is closing down. And we're a 100-mile radius or 80-mile radius from any other major city. I'm in a rural town, and that's going to, my property tax is going to $4,000. I live in Merritt, BC. $4,000, and there's nothing here for us. I couldn't even go see my son play hockey because I wasn't given the potion. Anyways, let's keep going here. So, about today's numbers. So let's just skip over here to, we used 100K for the income because it's a round number that also close to the median household. Even with the surging incomes due to job vacancies and inflation, Canada didn't see a jump like the US. The average wage for labor requiring at least one technical skill is $54,100 per year. Remember, guys, this is gross. You don't take none of that. You take maybe 60% of that home. Dual income households with skilled labor on average would make around $108,000 a year. Guys, this is gross. This is not net. So people watching this in Florida or other states that are considered work-free states, you don't take this home. You actually take home a lot less than that. You probably take 70 of that home, 70,000 after tax. So the taxation on labor is huge. They're just higher than the medium we used. So let's keep going. Typical Canadian household can't afford 69% of its markets. Nice. What could a regular household earning median income afford in 2022? Not much. The benchmark home in 69% of the markets in the CREA House Price Index HPI is now out of reach. Even Calgary has just slipped out of your reach because of that. You know, we've been talking about Edmonton markets and Alberta markets, and how they were open for business for foreign investors. Sorry, Toronto millennials, we know that that was your exit plan. So households earning 100 large in annual income can qualify to buy a home around $497,000. Once again, that assumes that they have 20% down payment ready, which is about 100 large. That was the good news. So which real estate market? So people watching this in the United States, when you're seeing that much money, because 170,000 could buy what they're buying. 170,000 could actually buy in the US maybe 100,000 what they're paying 497 for here. So people in the US are like, why are these people buying? So I get a lot of messages from people from Alabama, Texas, South Carolina, Georgia, even parts of Arizona. I'm like, why would someone pay $497 for a house? Why are they putting themselves in that? Because that's the lowest. That's what people could afford. That's the lowest that people can afford, because that's what the lowest benchmark. So let's take a look at the benchmark. That's what I meant to say. So before we jump, let's go over to some past articles to actually show why we're in this mess. Canada would be in a recession without money laundering. This is back in 2019. Canada's money laundering, hundreds of billions of dollars laundered through Canada, basically through China. China basically unloading. Here it is here. We did this video, it's over 5 years because I haven't lived in this city, so it's been a long time. Urgent, China suffers largest capital outflow. This is important because, in my opinion, this is from 5 years ago according to this, more money will be parked in real estate and drive up prices and and leave locals bought out. The whole western seaboard from Vancouver to San Diego will be unaffordable. That's from 5 years ago. It's probably older. And laundered money all over, and there it is right there. So let's move on, and then we talked about why the city of Toronto housing market on fire. Oh yes, it's out of control 5 years ago. The city and the greater GTA is rallying. Chinese money is making its way into Toronto real estate after Vancouver installed the foreign buyers tax. And there's another one right there. 5 years ago, investors pumping up Toronto real estate market. Toronto housing boom to continue as Vancouver slumps. Chinese investors are fleeing to Vancouver due to the foreign buyers tax. Most fled to Seattle, Washington, and others fled to Toronto. If you look at the housing market in Seattle from 6 years ago, and then you go to 5 years ago, you'll see a huge jump in price because lots of foreign money being parked. So there it is right there. And that's when they started raising interest rates and cutting back on foreign investing. Toronto needs more Chinese investors because the pricing was starting to stabilize, and they were cutting back on foreign investing and money laundering, but that got taken off the table almost immediately. Okay, so here are the cities you guys have been waiting patiently for. So these are places you can't afford, or that basically this is what your income, that's what the benchmark. So this is the price benchmark, aka of a typical home across Canada, and the maximum budget household $100K would qualify for, assuming they had 20% down payment. So that's the best part, is they have 20% down to pay for it, right? If you have 20% down to pay for any of this stuff, guys, move to the States. Don't even bother with this, with property taxes and stuff. It's not even worth it. So there it is, 1.6 million. Oakville, Milton, Lower Mainland, that's in Vancouver, 1.4 million. Fraser Valley, 1.3 million, that's in BC. Vancouver, 1.3 million. Toronto, 1.35 million. Mississauga, 1.3 million. Burlington, 1 million. Victoria, BC, 1 million. Guelph, 1 million. Barrie, almost a million. Kitchener, Waterloo, almost a million. Cambridge, almost a million. Chilliwack, 900 large. Then there's the aggregate that kicks in. Okay, 882,000. And then it keeps going to Niagara Falls, Vancouver Island. And then when does it come in? After Calgary. After Calgary, you get the median budget of 100 large, that the affordability level is right there, 497,000. That's the affordability level for the average household making 100 large. But that's gross, people. Don't forget, these homes these are netted. This is what you pay up. This is what the house is. You don't get a deduction or anything because you pay so much in tax. You got to keep that in mind. Sudbury, North Bay, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Moncton, Saskatoon, Prince Edward Island, Quebec, Newfoundland, New Brunswick, Sault Ste. Marie, St. John's, Newfoundland, Saskatchewan, Fredericton, St. John, New Brunswick, and Regina is down here at the bottom, where basically Regina and St. John, New Brunswick, and Fredericton, Saskatchewan are where Canadians need to look at if they want to move out of the big cities, because they were basically... That has a bad reputation of building its economy, or its only economy that's left, on housing, right? And it's been like that since 2010. It started in Vancouver after the Vancouver Olympics. Canada basically opened its doors in Vancouver, and they allowed the Vancouver model, where money was allowed to be placed in Canada. No questions, no asks, no debates, nothing. And Australia caught on to that and started their own thing, and New Zealand started that. And it got to a point where it was just so out of reach for the locals to catch up to, because the locals aren't, laundering their money. The locals are working. If a local ever laundered money, that made the front page to show people who the real culprits were, or to misinform the people that one guy in Canada laundered money. But they go to that one guy and they plaster that one guy everywhere. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Look forward to reading your comments on what is happening with this housing madness. There's not many places left for Canadians with $100,000 income, or sorry, $1,000 combined income per year, born and raised in their own country, to go to. And if you want more hard-hitting and more in-depth discussion pieces, don't forget to check us out on Odyssey. We are on Odyssey, still doing Mike in the Night, still doing our call-in shows, because we can't do them on this platform. Here it is here. That's what we look like on Odyssey. There's the upcoming Mike in the Night show, episode 441 call-in show. Last week show, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say any of this stuff on here, so I'm just going to leave it as is. And you could join us on Odyssey. It's Mike Martin's there. You could join us there. So let me know what you guys think about this. And pricing is out of reach for most Canadians. And this is what triggered the mass exodus, what triggered all the problems we're having now, and what triggered other bigger events that we've seen happen in the last couple of years. Can't mention it on here. Let me know what you guys think. Lots of love. And I'll see you guys on the flip side. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken.